Okay, welcome to Drunk Book Reviews, take 3. I'm not even going to tell you what happened in the first 2. Anyway, this was Katrina's idea, so I'm not sure how this is supposed to go or what I'm supposed to say, but that's how we do shit here. We just fucking wing it, and we hope for the best, and so if this sucks, let's all blame Katrina. Okay. At first I thought in take 1 that I'd be violating the rules a little bit because I was only a little tipsy. But now that we're at take 3, I think that we can all agree that I'm past tipsy. I hope that it makes sense. And if that little ding comes up on the speaker, I'm really sorry. That's Katrina not fucking leaving me alone. Anyway, I was going to review this other book that I'm reading, but I got really tired of reading it, and I didn't want to do a mean review for this first one because I'm a happy drunk, and I don't like saying mean things unless you fucking earned it anyway. So the book I read before that one, or finished, was Cult of Kill Volume 1. I figured that if anyone can handle the honesty that rum provides, it's Patrick Hill. You can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes around Patrick Hill because we all know who that is. If you don't, well, I guess you won't. Anyway, the Patrick Hill series, which is from Dark Fuse magazine, is probably one of my favorite new addictions after Netflix. Everything comes after Netflix, pun intended. The Patrick Hill stories are, oh my God, I'm rambling already. They're dark, they're weird, gross, funny, and most of them have sex, which, I love that shit. So, of course, it's my favorite thing. And they're well written. I mean, a well-written book with all that, come on. Practically makes a girl orgasmic, right? Just kidding, mostly. This book is dedicated to the devil because apparently no one dedicates books to the devil. And I never really thought about that before until I read that. And I'm like, that's so true. Nobody dedicates books to the devil that I read anyway. And I'm sure the devil has feelings. And now because of this, Patrick Hill, air quotes, will probably have a nice time in hell because the devil's going to be like, oh, thanks for dedicating that book to me, Patrick, air quotes, because he'll know who he really is too. And he'll be nice to him. Anyway, that's boring. I was thinking I'm going to give you my thoughts on every story because it's Thursday and I can do this all night. Tomorrow's a PA day, so I don't have to do Mon things really early. So, yay. I won't do that because that's lame. Right? Right. Go all night, I mean. I will still review every single story because... Fuck you, you're listening, right? Anyway, I made notes because I was worried about tangents. I've already gone on I don't know how many. But I'm realizing right now that my writing is ridiculous. Seriously. It's like, who fucking writes like this? What? I don't know. I do, apparently, and it's awful. So let's just look at the first story. The Boy with the Razor Sharp Teeth. This wasn't really the strongest. It's probably like down near my last favorites. But it was still creepy. And, kids are creepy in general. You want to fuck someone up, you just make them wonder about their kids. I wonder about mine every day. I swear to God, there's been more than once in their lives that they have creeped me the fuck out. Especially the fucking sleepwalker. I hate those. I love my kid. Sleepwalkers are creepy. Anyway, let's move on. Well, where was I? I bet you're wondering if I swear in real life like I do in my books. Now you have your answer. Booze probably makes it worse. It doesn't make it worse. It just limits my word choices. I prefer fuck when I'm drinking. I don't know why. I'm more creative when I'm sober. Anyway, second story. Are you ready? Because this one is one of my favorites. Clitorissa and the Incredible Edible Leg. I almost said egg. Okay, let's all say clitorissa out loud, shall we? Say it with me. Clitorissa. Clitorissa. It's a good thing we don't name our kids when we're drunk because little Clit would be really pissed at me right now. I don't think you could name your kid that, really. I don't think they'd let you. That was another tangent. Anyway, I love this one. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I'm not doing the work for you. If you want to know, you're going to have to read it. He does use kids in this one again because, as I said, kids are weird and they make for good horror. This time there's an awkward erection, which is always fun. Not really, but let's just pretend. Anyway, moving on to the third story. Screaming Greens. Now, this is not about the greens that I thought it was about. I'm betting you thought it was about different greens too. If you're going to tell me you thought it was golf, then you're either right or a liar. You're probably a liar. Anyway, it is about extreme golf. That's what I was talking about. Actually, my brother had a similar idea about making curling more interesting. It was more of like a prank for my sister-in-law. That's boring. Let's move on. It's all boring to me. This story wasn't boring. And did I mention that Patrick Hill writes amazing dialogue? And I do love me some good fucking dialogue. Your story could suck ass, but if your dialogue is on point, I'll love you. Well, I like you a lot. Love's a strong word for story suckage. Like if your story sucks, but your dialogue is really good, dialogue's getting hard to say, by the way. Anyway, I'll still read it if the dialogue's really good and your story sucks. How's that? But Screaming Greens doesn't suck. Let's just make that clear. I found it funny and, of course, the good dialogue. And you can never go wrong with rabid badgers. I mean, badgers in general. Badgers are good for stories and not good in real life, though. They're kind of vicious. Anyway, next one, The Magic Cupboard. When I saw this title, I thought of, excuse my sniffling, I have a cold, so just pretend like you don't notice that I'm sniffling every 5 minutes. Anyway, The Magic Cupboard, when I first read that, it made me think of Indian in the Cupboard, which is so lame. I went on a second date to that movie. The first date was supposed to be a one-night stand, but then I called because I'm so fucking charming, right? Anyway, I should have left it at that, at the one-night stand, because then I'd have been able to live my life without ever having to watch The Indian in the Cupboard. Is that too much information? I think it is. Anyway, this story isn't at all like The Indian in the Cupboard, which is really good. It features kids again. And I was sensing a theme, and themes are okay, but I mean, I was like, fuck, please don't make this all be kids because I have kids and I don't want to read about them. So I love my kids, but I just don't want to read about kids. Anyway, it's not the theme, so there's a spoiler. It's not all about kids, so keep reading. Anyway, I think Clitorissa, say it again, Clitorissa, it probably comes in a second to this story. Sorry, Clitorissa, but magical boxes cannot top magical cupboards. It's a new rule I'm making. Magical cupboards have more space. Anyway, next is The Mind's Filthy Lesson. I like that word too, filthy. It's a good word. Not as good as Clitorissa, but it's up there. Maybe like just under salsa. I love salsa. I'm hungry. Right now, you guys are like, is she really going to review every story in this book? Yes, I am. Back to the filthy story. It begins with the protagonist raping and killing his imaginary friend. And I'm going to tell you right now, the moral of the story is you shouldn't do that to your imaginary friend because they're in your imagination. That's like raping yourself. Anyway, speaking of this, the raping and killing scene, what is it about masturbation scenes that are like so unbelievably uncomfortable to like read or watch on TV? I mean, it's the only time or the only sex we have where we're totally cool with what's happening, right? Like we don't care about, I mean, we're just comfortable with it. We know what we're doing. Tangent again. So let's move on. Tall Tale. If I'm honest, this one was just okay. You can't win them all, Patrick. And really, what woman is ever 100% satisfied? Awkward silence. So let's move on. The next one, titled Twins, definitely had more promised. It was really fucking messed up. That's the only note I made on it. And I do remember it, but I'm trying not to give spoilers. And So I'm just going to keep going to Tequila Sun. The sex scene in this one was awesome, but not in the way that you're thinking. I didn't go take a shower or anything, although I did feel a little bit dirty. It was funny, although I have to wonder, have any of you unmade a bed to have sex? I'm just curious because I haven't. I mean, isn't the bed going to get unmade in the process of having sex? So it doesn't really matter if you unmake the bed. But then my bed's never made, so I suppose I can't really judge that. Maybe everybody unmakes their bed to have sex, and I'm the only one who doesn't because mine's already unmade. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Chocolate Jesus. When I started reading this story, it was, compared to the rest of the collection, it was uncharacteristically deep. It was still dark, but it had like feelings and shit. I was getting really uncomfortable because I was like, what? This is not what I signed on for. And then I got to the end, and it was one of those, what the fuck did I just read moments? And I laughed because talking shit, how can you not laugh at talking shit? You'll see when you read the book, because you're going to. Anyway, and the final story is titled Infidelity. You know, I don't think anyone really goes for it with anal sex scenes. I mean, they've got so much potential, especially in horror, but also in erotica, but we won't talk about that today. Anyway, Patrick Hill went for it. And he went for other things with the sex in this one. It was really good. Anyway, speaking of anal sex, has anyone ever seen Sullivan Stapleton? I will provide pictures with this podcast because Christ. Sorry, Kevin, unless you're all dictator, homicidal Frank Underwood, I'm afraid Sullivan has replaced you in most of my inappropriate fantasies. Not all of them, mind you. Sometimes a girl needs a little Frank in her life, but for now, you're mostly shelled. Sorry, Frank, Kevin, whoever you are. That was a tangent. Anyway, so that was my review. If I was writing this for Amazon, this is not going on Amazon, obviously, I'd probably say something like, oh my God, it was so great. I highly recommend it. Why do we even say that, though? Because do we honestly think anyone gives a shit that we recommend something? I mean, I don't give a shit when you guys recommend something, being honest. We're just a bunch of narcissistic assholes. That's what we are. I'll recommend it anyway, because someone might care. Not Katrina, because Katrina's going to see anal sex, masturbation, talking shit, and she's going to be like, no, thank you. Because she doesn't like that stuff, I don't think. Anyway, so yes, I highly recommend this because it is fun. And we don't read enough fun books, and politics suck, and I'm sick of seeing them. So you should pick up a book like this one and just have fun and lighten up, and the politics will be there tomorrow. Anyway, that's all, I think. Now it is like 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna be drunk and going to bed. Maybe I'll watch some Smallville. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, that's it.